This is Michael Popok. Not all Jan 6 insurrectionists, even those charged with obstruction of an official proceeding, are built alike. Take Brandon Fellows. Please, take Brandon Fellows. Schenectady, New York, former grocery worker, decided from the get-go after capture that he would represent himself in front of Judge Trevor McFadden because, to quote him at a hearing in October, "I spent 2 weeks in the D.C. County Jail, Your Honor. I know all I need to know." And the judge says, "I would not do that, Mr. Fellows. I would not represent yourself. If you force me to, I'm going to let you, but I wouldn't do it." He did it. And by the time that October hearing was over, he already admitted to 3 different felonies while he was conducting the hearing, including harassing a judge and his family to try to disqualify them, considering whether to call Judge McFadden's family in order to get him disqualified. This is all admitted during the bond hearing. So that's in October. What happened there? The judge said, "You know what? I've heard enough, including you admitting other felonies and contempt of the court. I'm going to put you in pretrial detention." So for the act of busting through an already broken window in the Senate and sitting in a senator's chair, Jeff Merkley, a Democrat of Oregon, and smoking a joint, he got to spend the rest of his time sitting along with the other Jan 6 defendants, including all the violent ones like the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, because he couldn't keep his mouth shut. Fast forward to the trial that started last week. How do you think that went for Brandon Fellows, who decided again to represent himself? Let me just cut to the chase. Not well. The judge, after listening to Brandon Fellows' continued contempt of the government, continually telling the jury that he had nothing to be ashamed of, that Jan 6th was a beautiful day, that he was a martyr like Brett Kavanaugh, the Supreme Court justice, that the prosecutors were liars, that the court was a kangaroo court, pointing to Judge McFadden, and talking about how he admired Elon Musk, of all things, because both of them have Asperger's syndrome. I'm not making this stuff up. The judge heard enough. The judge, who already in October, watching this guy in action, said, "I normally give people who are representing themselves, we call it pro se, the benefit of the doubt. I can no longer give you, Mr. Fellows, the benefit of the doubt because you've abused it." In fact, when the judge during the trial in front of a jury said to Mr. Fellows, "I normally would give a criminal defendant or that side of the case what's called a rebuttal argument," meaning after the government goes and the government has a rebuttal case, usually the defense gets the last word in the situation. He said, "But you forfeited your right to have that because of your complete showing of contempt for this court, and you would not answer the questions of the Department of Justice." And then when it was all over, in addition to, of course, the jury is going to convict him, even after all the warnings, all the admonitions by the judge, don't represent yourself. 2 weeks in a law library is not enough, son, at all. I don't know how things happen in Schenectady, New York, but in a federal court in D.C., even with Judge McFadden appointed by Trump, is not going to go well. Now, in addition to being sentenced for the crimes of obstruction of justice, obstruction of an official proceeding, that will happen in 3 months' time or so, Mr. Fellows bought himself a 5-month sentence for his shenanigans, for his antics in the courtroom. So he got 5 months for just how he put his case on in front of the jury. And that will be on top of whatever this same Judge McFadden is going to sentence him to for the underlying crimes that he was convicted of. So what have we learned on this hot take? A number of things. People that represent themselves are called pro se litigants. Judges generally bend over backwards to give that person the benefit of the doubt when they're presenting their case, but there are limits, and eventually you will try the patience of even a saint, or in this case, a Trump-appointed Judge McFadden, who will say, "Enough is enough. I already had you admit in my courtroom in October to at least 2 or 3 felonies, including improperly contacting judges in New York in another case, which made me send you into the pretrial detention for all of this time. And now having not learned your lesson and showing complete contempt of court and contempt for our government, you continued the antics in front of the jury. So the jury will make its ruling as the finder of fact after I instruct him with the law. But you, sir, have earned yourself and bought yourself a 5-month prison sentence, regardless of what happens with the jury. Boom, boom, good day. That's what happened with Brandon Fellows and Judge McFadden that we just learned about by an entry on the docket today. I do hot takes on this one on very serious issues and some a little bit more comical, all that arise at the intersection of law and U.S. politics. I do it on hot takes in one place. You know where that is. It's the MeidasTouch Network. It's almost got 2 million free subscribers. Join them if you haven't already. If you like what I'm doing, you can slide over to playlists, go down to Michael Popok, and there's my entire library of daily hot takes and podcasting right there. You like podcasts? I'm sorry, you like hot takes? Almost got my own sign off wrong. You like hot takes? You're going to love our podcast. It's called Legal AF. We put together the best of the stories for the week, and instead of just one person talking into a microphone to you, we get 2 people analyzing the issues on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. Also, only in one place, MeidasTouch Network. You want to find all the content, written, oral, audio, recordings, go to the new website for MeidasTouch, www.MeidasTouch.com. You like me, Michael Popok, give me a thumbs up on this hot take, and then you can go over on all social media and find me at MS Popok, and now on Threads. This is Michael Popok. Until the next hot take for Legal AF.
Hey, Meidas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.